Now, one of my all-time favourite smartwatches of yesteryear was the Huawei GT2. We're talking slick design, premium features, solid value, and incredible battery life. So I am giddier than a puppy that's just smelled another puppy's anal cavity that I've now got the Huawei Watch GT3. This is the gorgeous looking stainless steel model, some very slick stuff, packing some upgraded tech, including a fresh new bit of sensor action for your fitness shenanigans. You got upgraded GPS on there as well, a new Healthy Living Shamrock to help you not go fucking crazy and just murder everyone. Anyways, you can probably tell I didn't really plan out this intro, so let's just kill it now. Let's whip the Huawei Watch GT3 on out of its box, take you a full-on tour of the hardware and the software. And for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So first up, what do you actually get in there besides the Huawei Watch GT3? Well, you've got one quick start guide, shows you how to download the Huawei Health app and also gives you helpful life advice like don't use your mobile phone in range of blasting caps. Bear that in mind next time I go back to Sunderland. You also have one proprietary magnetic charger, and because I got the stainless steel version with the stainless steel bracelet to match, I also have some spare links in here, just in case I need to add any extra in there. Although, you know, given that I've got the weediest wrists this side of kindergarten, I don't think I'll be needing any extra links. No, should be all right on that front. Might actually have to take a couple out there. Thankfully, you do have little switches on the inside of some of the links to help you easily remove them, so that's going to be pretty straightforward. Et voila, a perfect fit, and I just had to remove the 6 links in total. Honestly, who has got a wrist big enough to fit this many links? I don't want to meet them in a dark alley. Okay, so I've had the Huawei Watch GT3 slapped on my wrist for about half a day now. I'm gotta say, really liking that design as well. This is the 46mm version. Gotta admit, I would have personally gone for the 42mm if I'd chosen, because I've got the wrists of a 7-year-old schoolgirl, frankly. But all the same, this 46mm version isn't too chunky. It's actually relatively slender, akin to the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4. That stainless steel casing gives the Huawei Watch GT3 a premium vibe and matches up well with that steel bracelet, which so far is comfortable to wear. It's actually surprisingly lightweight as well, considering all of the metal involved. Certainly didn't feel it weighing down my arm or anything, and as you can see, there's lots of fine detail around that bezel as well, which is relatively slender, certainly compared with some rivals that I've tested recently. Loving the time markings on there, and then the screen itself is perfectly flat and sits above the bezel as well, so no protection there, so hopefully it'll prove scratch resistant. As for your customization, well, you've got a choice of this steel color or black for the Huawei Watch GT3 46mm edition. The 42mm also comes in gold. And as usual, you've got a choice of watch straps. You can just yank off the current one, slap on a new one. You've got the likes of fluoro, elastomer, leather, all the usual shenanigans. And this bad boy is water resistant to 5 atmospheres, complete with full swim tracking support, if that's what you fancy. Now, you get the Huawei Watch GT3 all set up by downloading the Huawei Health app onto your smartphone. You can grab this from the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, and the HarmonyOS App Store as well. Once you're actually logged into Huawei Health, the actual setup process only takes a couple of minutes, and most of that is just accepting endless permissions. And if you haven't used Huawei Health before, this gives you full access to all of your watch settings. You can change up the watch faces, see exactly which notifications you want to receive on your wrist. You can set up alarms and favorite contacts, all that good shiz. And from within the Huawei Health app, you can check and track all of your various stats, including your rest and heart rate. And see how the old stress gauge is looking if you're going to wig out anytime soon. And I'm not really particularly shocked to find that the 1.43-inch screen here on the Huawei Watch GT3 46mm edition is absolutely stunning. It's an AMOLED panel, so nice sharp contrast, deep blacks, really poppy colors, which is good because the HarmonyOS UI is bright and pretty poppy. It's a beautifully sharp display as well, thanks to the 466 by 466 pixel resolution, so even tiny text clearly legible. And I believe it's the same resolution on the smaller 42mm model as well, even though it has got a dinkier 1.32-inch screen. I've got the auto brightness turned on, and it did seem rather bright still last night, even when I was sat in a dark room. It was still powerfully bright, in fact, but you can change the brightness yourself manually as well if you want to. And yeah, certainly on that maximum brightness, no trouble seeing this thing outdoors. The actual OS is once again Huawei's own HarmonyOS. This is quite similar to Wear OS in a lot of ways. So for instance, swipe right from that main watch face, you've got fast access to your weather report and other main bits. If you swipe on this way, you've got all your various tiles, which you can of course manually set up, so you can get rid of any ones that you don't want. This gives you fast access to all of your main stats, again, the likes of the weather. You play around with this by jumping into the watch settings, going to custom cards, and then just dicking around in there. Like Wear OS, you can also swipe up from that main watch face to check out
your notifications. Unfortunately, what you can do with these notifications is very limited. Certainly if you've got an Android smartphone or an iPhone, basically you can sort of get a tiny bit of detail. For instance, the first sort of few sentences of an email, and that's basically it. You can't actually respond or anything. All you can do is get rid of them. And then a bit of a swipey swipe down and you've got access to a selection of toggles. Not, again, half as many as you do on Wear OS, but you can, quickly toggle the do not disturb, stick on an alarm, drain the watch of excess fluids if you've submerged it. And then actually inside the settings, you've got a respectable amount of customization that you can do. You can set the always on display. You can set the home style, which basically means how your apps will be presented, either in a grid or in a list. You can change up the haptics. You can set a pin, all that good stuff. And then, yeah, to actually get to the full range of apps, all you need to do is tap this top crown button here. And as you can see there, it's usual Apple Watch inspired grid, but as I said before, you can change that to a list if you prefer. Now, something that Huawei watches always do really well is the variety of watch faces. You only get a small selection installed on here by default, including a good bit of rim action, naturally. But if you bounce back into that Huawei Health app, you may remember earlier I said you could change the watch face from within here if you're actually paying attention. And you've got absolutely shag tons of different options in here, all kinds of different analog and digital faces to choose from, although as you'll see there, a large chunk of them do cost you actual real-life money. Absolutely no bother if you're a total cheapskate like me though, because there is an option of only checking out free ones. And even the freebies are still pretty solid. You'll find some good shiz in there. Lots of colourful options to really make the most of that punchy AMOLED display. This one right here being one of my personal favourites, seems more apps than ever in 2021. You've also got plenty of options in there which will display all of your main sort of health stats, your step count, calorie burn, all that shenanigans right there on the main watch face if that's your bag. Plenty of seasonal ones as well. This is a spooky Halloween effort. Woo! Oh god, gonna have nightmares tonight. Or as usual, you can just bung on a photo of your own choosing, be it a cherished family member or just some geeky anime style effort, with all the usual customization options. And quite a few of the watches come with a matching always on display as well, certainly the ones that come pre-installed here on the Huawei Watch GT3 do. Otherwise, you've also got your bog standard analog and digital always on displays to match up with whatever you're using. As for the app situation, we got loads of stuff pre-installed on here, including of course all the usual fitness stuff, workouts, heart rate, SpO2, skin temperature. There is actually a music app on here as well, because you can actually copy music to the watch for offline listening. You've got 32 gigs of storage on there as well, which is pretty decent. Actually copying your music across is accomplished via the Huawei Health app, as you would expect. Add some songs and away you go. And as well as that, you can also quickly and easily control any music you happen to be playing on your smartphone at the time as well, complete with a bit of information on the track. You can skip your tracks, you can change the volume. Does seem a little bit buggy so far. There's not too much in the way of lag, but I'm having a little bit of trouble skipping tracks here in Deezer all of a sudden. You've also got a built-in speaker and mic here on the Huawei Watch GT3, just as you did in the previous generation, so you can use this to actually take calls via your smartphone. Otherwise, you can also use it to communicate with the Celia voice assistant, although as you can see there, this does require a Huawei smartphone. Unfortunately, you can't use the assistant if you're running off Android or iPhone. And the Huawei Watch GT3 will certainly appeal to any outdoorsy types, because you've got the likes of the barometer and the compass on here, and as well as your general weather shenanigans. Oh, rain again, what a surprise. The Huawei Watch GT3 could also keep you updated on lunar cycles and tides and all kinds of stuff. You've also now got dual band 5 system GNSS GPS tracking as well, which is supposed to be more accurate than with previous Huawei watches. I will of course be testing that out for my full review. This should hopefully especially help out with that nifty root back navigation tool, which featured on a couple of previous Huawei smartwatches. Basically, if you're hiking out in the wilderness, this can just track your exact motions, and then if you realize, oh bollocks, I've got absolutely no idea where I am, this can just help you retrace your steps, get you back to where you started from. And back in, you guessed it, the good old Huawei Health app, you've got access to the app gallery, which gives you access to a small number of not particularly great apps, it has to be said. Home workout is alright if you want to burn off a few chip butties or whatever. A couple of little sort of puzzle game type efforts, and that's about it really. Now for your fitness tracking, you've got Huawei's fresh TruSensor 5.0 Plus sensor, which serves up faster, more accurate heart rate measurements. You've also got full 24-hour tracking for your SpO2. You can also measure your current skin temperature as well, which I guess has more bearing in a COVID-y world. I'm not sure, of course, how accurate this is, but you can have it set up so it does do 24-hour measurements of that as well. As for actual exercise tracking as well, over 100 types of exercise to choose from. I didn't even realize this many existed. Kind of Terrifying. All the stuff found on the previous Huawei GT2 Pro seems to be in order, including like the skiing and snowboarding. And anything that's not in that main list, you can just add via a secondary list. And like I said, pretty much anything you could possibly think of in here, including, yes, a good bit of Latin dancing, plaza dancing, whatever that is, all the martial arts shenanigans, laser tag even. My own personal favourite, swinging, ladies. I'm sorry, but fishing, surely that's just an excuse to sit around on your arse drinking lager all day. And same goes for darts and pool as well. I don't care how much bloody wrist action's involved. And for each kind of exercise session, you can set your own personal goals as well. And then once we actually get started, hopefully we'll have full voice feedback from Funky Dutch Guy as usual.
Start the workout.
Oh yeah, love it. It'll just pop up every now and then to offer a little bit of extra encouragement. You've got access to your main stats right there on the screen, which of course will change up depending on what exercise you're actually doing. You've also got your media controls there, which are available with a quick swipe, although that seems to often take a couple of swipes to actually bring up. You can change the volume of those workout broadcasts, as they're called. You can also keep the screen permanently on while you are working out, so you can always see those stats. And there's an auto detect workout feature too. And naturally, you've got a good bit of sleep tracking here on the Huawei Watch GT 3 as well, which can tell you how great or how mediocre your quality of sleep was. Mine was perfectly okay yesterday, apparently. I do like how it gives you a little score on your sleeping abilities, so even if you suck at most other things in life, at least you can sort of do well at this. And that's actually pretty much bang on as well. Quite often smartwatches will start to detect my sleep a little bit earlier when I'm just sitting comatose on the sofa, but this got it spot on. I got to bed at 1:45, and then yeah, rose at just gone 6. And the last feature I want to show you here on the Huawei Watch GT 3 before we bugger off is the Healthy Living Shamrock. And this basically rates your day based on 3 mindfulness factors: how much kip you've got, how much exercise you've got, and your general stress levels. You can actually set your goals through the app. And as you can see there, I've managed to get up out of bed today, so that's a big healthy tick. I didn't just cower under the duvet all day. I've got to do my breathing exercises just to make sure that I can still breathe. And I've got to smile once a day as well, because I've kind of forgotten how to do that. And then my Healthy Living Shamrock will be complete, and I can breathe a deep sigh of relief knowing that I've made it through yet another day on this absolute hellscape. Now, battery life is most assuredly something I'll be fully testing out here on the Huawei Watch GT3 for my in-depth review, but Huawei reckons you get around a week of light use from a single charge, otherwise around 4 days of heavy use. And that's just with the 42mm version. With this 46mm version, Huawei reckons you can double those estimates, although I reckon that's very optimistic, and that's without using features like the always-on display and the 24-hour tracking. So far, I've had all of the features turned on, including the likes of always-on display, the 24-hour heart rate tracking and SpO2 tracking. I've obviously done the sleep tracking overnight as well. Been using this thing for about sort of 15-16 hours, and it's drained to 20%, but that also includes all the setup phase and everything, and I have been using it an awful lot more than I would do in just sort of day-to-day use. But certainly compared with a lot of Wear OS watches like the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4, the Fossil Gen 6, it's a hell of a lot better. Certainly much closer to what you would get from the likes of the Amazfit GTR3. So anyway, stay tuned for my in-depth Huawei Watch GT3 review, hopefully coming in just another week or 2. What do you reckon so far? Are you tempted by this bad boy? Certainly a very sleek device, all those great premium features, and hopefully the battery life will stand tall. So definitely feel free to mentally vomit your thoughts into the comment section down below. Please do poke, subscribe, and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, and to join the Spurton army. And have yourselves a fantastic rest of the weekend. Cheers everyone, love you.